You're on.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Barnes of Take Charge Books, and with me is Doug Bennett, who is the author of a wonderful new book, Life and Spirit in the Quantum Field. And I know that there's a lot of interest these days in the quantum field, how it works and what it does, and I think kind of beyond the scientific, but what it means in our lives. And that's what you've written about. Can you tell us a little bit about what's in this book?
What's in the book, I think, begins where a lot of other books leave off, which is observing that there are similarities between, say, Taoist and Buddhist approaches and the way the quantum physicists talk. But most people don't apply that directly to human life. So what I've done is propose that our emotional essence is a quantum object. It is also distributed in the quantum field just like electrons and photons.
So what is the quantum field?
The quantum field was originally an artifact of the equations that they used to describe photons and electrons and neutrons, atoms. And the equations take the form of waves. So the field is a bunch of waves, like light, like a hologram. And it is now believed, not universally, but widely, that the quantum field is real. It is not just an artifact of the equations. It is a real thing. So it's an addition to our material view of reality.
My understanding of quantum science is that it applies to very, very tiny particles, smaller than atoms. And so how does that apply to humans then? Where does that translate?
Humans, of course, are large, very massive, and the quantum equations tell us that massive things are local and temporal, just like we are. I'm here, you're there. But what's not massive is our feelings, the stuff that goes on in our mind. And so it is that part of us that is a quantum object, and because it has no mass, it can be distributed across time and space.
So thoughts and feelings are actually things.
They are information, if you like. They are carried in our brains as holograms, as waves, and so in that sense they are a thing. They have no mass, they are just information carried in varying electric voltages in our synapses, actually. So they have no mass, they are just information, and therefore it's possible for them to be distributed in the quantum field.
One of the things you talk about in the book, which I thought was really fascinating, was the idea of our memories. And for example, they all live in the quantum field, but your childhood of memories of your vacations at the beach are different from my childhood memories of my vacations in the mountains. But they're all part of this quantum field. And so how do you access your memories and I access mine, or maybe we access each other's sometimes?
It is certainly possible to access other information besides your own. And psychics and medical intuitives and remote viewers demonstrate that ability regularly. I think the reason that we access our own memories and not other people's memories is the way that holographic memory works. And the computer research people who are working on holographic memory for computers have shown us that you only need a tiny fragment of the information to retrieve the whole piece of the information. So you have some associations with your memories, and that is enough to allow you to retrieve your memories from the quantum soup, and you don't get mine. Likewise, I have enough associations, and it doesn't take very much at all, to allow me to retrieve my memories without interference from yours or anybody else's.
How do I get your memories if I wanted to? Is there a way?
I don't know. I don't know of people retrieving memories of other people. I do know of medical intuitives, for example, which can access, who can access the information about a person in Kansas City, for example, given only their name and Kansas City. And that's enough of a tag to allow the intuitive to tell you everything you want to know about the mental and physical health of that person.
How's that work?
The same way holographic memory works. That little tag, that name and the city, is enough to retrieve from the big hologram in the sky, the quantum field, is enough to retrieve that information. It's quite amazing.
It is.
But it is. But it's the way it works.
And remote viewing works somewhat
Remote
the same
viewing,
way?
I think, is the same thing. Remote viewers can sit in their office in California, for example, where the government had the remote viewing program. And they can think about the latitude and longitude of some place in Siberia, and they will tell you what's at that place. That's all they need. All they need is latitude and longitude, for example.
And what's at that place in this given moment in time, if there is such a thing as time, or at some time in the future, or even in the past?
In some of the experiments, the information that the remote viewers reported appeared to be incorrect. They saw things or reported things that weren't there. But when they got to looking, the one example was it was a municipal swimming pool, and they reported swimming pool things, but then they said there were these two big circular objects, and there were no circular objects there. But on a little further looking, they found that in the past there had been two large water tanks on that site. So they were seeing things that were not there now that used to be there in the past. The quantum field distributes things across both space and time, so it shouldn't be too surprising that we can see things in the past and even in the future.
So there's a great big quantum soup or filing cabinet or whatever you want to call it that contains everything.
It contains everything.